Hi, everybody. I'm here with Alicia O'Brien, who's going to talk with me a little bit about recruiter enablement. Alicia, thanks for taking the time to join me today. Give us a quick introduction.
Sure. Thanks for having me, Adam. So my name's Alicia O'Brien. I sit in Tampa, Florida, and I lead innovation and consulting for WilsonHCG. So grew up a recruiter, and now I spend my time helping recruiters, helping talent acquisition leaders and companies figure out how to find their talent in the most effective ways possible.
Great. Okay. So first question, what is recruiter enablement to you?
Yeah, and I've been thinking about this a lot because I think this could be taken in so many different ways. But at the end of the day, it's helping recruiters be more effective at the craft that they've devoted their time to being. So a lot of people talk today about how recruiters are marketers or they're salespeople or they're matchmakers. So whatever got them excited about staying in this crazy industry that we're all in, helping them be better at that. And I know that that means different things to different recruiters.
It does, absolutely. Okay. So could you give us some examples of some of the tactical things that you think we should be thinking about doing in talent acquisition, or like things that you've maybe helped your customers or helped your RPO teams to do?
Yeah, and if I think about how recruitment has changed over, the last 10 to 15 years, a lot of folks that came into the industry, maybe when I did, were very used to picking up the phone, making phone calls, determining the best way to get a hold of candidates because technology wasn't necessarily a factor there. So depending on how long we've been doing these types of things, there's been a shift more recently where there's a lot of technology, there's a lot of systems, different things that need to be updated, and that's not necessarily everybody's cup of tea, but it needs to be done. So some of the things that we think about is how to make sure our data is clean, right? So, and then the recruiters are like, okay, well, I know why it's important, but I want to spend my time with my candidate. So how can we make it easy for that to happen? Whether it's tracking the steps of an interview process, leveraging different pieces of technology. And then when that's done correctly, then they realize that we actually gave them time back to do the things that they wanted to do. So I think a good example of that is even just like self-scheduling technology,
Yeah,
whether it be Calendly or otherwise,
yeah.
you connect it to your calendar, and then you don't have to spend that back and forth to get the candidate set up to speak with you, and then you just got to speak with them. So
Yeah, that's a really good example. Do you think automation in general is an important part of like recruiter enablement, removing busy work, removing repetitive tasks?
I do. I mean, I think that there's a line in which automation doesn't make sense anymore because we do need to make sure that what we're asking these individuals to do is practical for the whatever interview process they're managing. But for example, if you're working in multiple different systems, so one ATS, one CRM, one sourcing tool, is there a way that those can be either integrated or set up in such a way where you only have to update it in one place and then it pushes through both ways? So then you don't have to worry about if you forgot to make a change in one of those
Mm.
different places.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, bonus question for you, um,
Yeah.
because I don't get to talk to people in innovation very often. So,
Mhm.
like, what are the most interesting things to you right now? What's brand new? What's like hot and you know exciting to you about recruitment technology?
It's a great question because I think the stuff that I've been excited about over the past couple of years is actually coming to fruition now because there's so much emphasis on AI and how that can help us do what we do better. So there's different tech out there that's actually had an AI integrated for quite some time. People may just not have made that correlation to that's what it was. And it's not called Chat GPT, so it might not have been as recognized as a household name. But I love the fact that we can have AI for out or for talent attraction messaging. I like it that we can look at the data behind it and figure out how we can better communicate with candidates with the right messaging. I've learned a lot from that, from Candidate ID and things similar to that in the past. But it's nice that there's an emphasis that people are excited about it as opposed to maybe a little nervous about it, which they might have been over the past several years. So we just want to take advantage of that and help organizations understand how taking the time to implement something like that correctly will actually make their process better, whether it's for their candidates that they're looking to attract or for the recruiters that are working on their teams too. So,
you know, I have exactly the same thoughts, and I feel like ChatGPT's done a public service because it's got I mean, just in our world, in the recruiting world, I mean, everybody knows what it is now. As I was saying to you before we pressed record on this, that my son and I drove about 1,000 miles from Glasgow to France, where I am just now, and as we were going through different parts of Europe, he was using ChatGPT. He's 8 years old, and he was just on my phone on ChatGPT going, "What animals can you get in the Black Forest?" And it was just, coming straight back to him and giving him an answer, which was faster than Google would give him an answer. He'd have to look through different resources and things like that. And he was asking questions like, why is Switzerland a neutral country? Explain so an 8-year-old would understand. As we're driving through Switzerland, because I find it quite difficult to explain to an 8-year-old why the benefits of being a neutral country and all that kind of thing. So yeah, the fact that it's made AI really tangible is going to accelerate things. So Alicia, thank you very much for taking the time to join me today. It's been great to hear some thoughts from you, and I look forward to seeing you again sometime.
Thank you.